But I think the biggest brush with process was when I built an e-commerce store in Indonesia, because that's what you do when you're 25. And
Random.
The idea of staying in a stable job scared me more than leaving.
It took me a very long time to get my name out in the I mean, well, comparatively not long, because I've just been here for 19 months.
Well, I was going to say, you've only been here for 19 months, but not that very long. Hello and welcome back to another episode of She's the Boss Female Entrepreneur Stories. I am really excited today to be joined by Rosie Ginday, who is an MBE no less, and the founder of the social enterprise Miss Macaroon. Rosie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks so much for inviting me. Really glad to be a part of it.
I'm really excited to ask you some questions. Now, I know Rosie and I've known Rosie for quite some time, but knowing someone and knowing their story is always two different things. So I'm really excited to find out a little bit more. And if you are watching and you haven't already clicked that subscribe button, make sure that you do so to make sure that you're the first to know when I release a new video. So, Rosie, Miss Macaroon, tell us a little bit more about the business and how you came to found it.
So I set up Miss Macaroon 8 years ago now, but the idea for it started much longer. So I was a waitress and in my first job at 16, and I would wait to get picked up by either one of my very late parents. Sorry, that makes them sound dead. They're not. They were picking me up. So they would come pick me up, but I'd just be waiting for them for a little while. And I stopped and chatted to a couple of homeless people there in the city centre of Coventry, and there was quite a big homeless population at that point. And everything I'd heard about homeless people was in the media, that they're drug addicts, alcoholics, terrible people, and deserve to be on the streets. And just chatting to these people, I was completely astounded by how wrong that was. They were just regular people. And there was one young guy who was only a little bit older than me, and his mum had passed away in a house fire, and he'd just fallen apart really. And I thought, if that was me, I'd probably end up in the same place. And that was kind of the seed that was planted. I found out also that one of my close family members was in care when he was a kid, and I could see the impact that it had had on him and his confidence and his aspirations. And I just thought, I'd been really, really fortunate to have the upbringing that I'd had, and wanted to do something that combined kind of my desire to have a cool job, but also giving some opportunities for young people to build their skills and build their confidence and get to aspire and achieve those goals that they aspire to do.
So tell us about what the business actually does and how you do it.
So we make and sell French macaroons through our online shop and also our store in Birmingham city centre. And we reinvest 100% of the profits in providing training and services to young people. We work with care leavers, ex-offenders, young people with homelessness, lone parents, people with mental health issues, maybe learning difficulties, neurodiverse people. And we build their skills and build their confidence on a 10-week macaroons that make training course, which is followed by 6 months of one-to-one mentoring.
So you had the idea. How did you get it from this idea to this business?
So I went away to university and did a fine art degree, and realised that I wanted that just to be my hobby rather than my career, and knew that I wanted to set up my own restaurant, but decided to continue my studies in art and free. Once I'd done that, I felt like I'd been in education for too long, so didn't really want to go straight into catering college. So I went to Taiwan and taught English as a foreign language over there for a year and a half, and after a couple of months I ended up opening a vegan and vegetarian restaurant and art space with a Canadian friend, and just had so much fun. It was a really, really cool place to hang out, a really nice community space, and I realised I wanted to do something similar here, but provide opportunities for young care leavers rather than a couple of Taiwanese kids that we were employing over there that were just going to be fine without our help. So I came back to England and trained to be a chef, and then I spent a year in a Michelin-starred restaurant, and then it came to kind of that year point, and I thought, I'm having such an amazing time, I'm building my skills, and I love the job and the team, but I did train so that I could set up a social enterprise. So it's a little crossroads point for me. So I said my thank yous and left and went to go work at the Hyatt Hotel. And while I was there, I was developing the idea for Miss Macaroon. I was looking for the right kind of product to be able to run the training. And I just kind of became obsessed with Macaroons, started from the batch, and they were great. Looking back on them, they were terrible, but I think they were great. And then the second batch was really, really awful. So I just became obsessed about, like, why don't they work and why do they work this time, and just the science behind them. And thought, this is what I want to do. I can make thousands of them and still be engaged. But there's a really simple part, the kind of buttercream or ganache filling, that somebody that's never worked in the kitchen before can make that and feel really proud that they've created this recipe and dish that looks really beautiful.
And obviously, for people that are not necessarily familiar with social enterprise, the idea is it's a business that is for more than profit. So, and you achieve that through working with these with the people that you work with. How do you juggle the two kind of elements of the business? So how do you ensure that you're really doing good work with the kind of social element, but also generating income through the kind of enterprise side?
Over the last 8 years, that balance has really changed. So it's quite cyclical. French macaroons, they're a gifting product, or a treating product. So it's really seasonal. Over kind of November, December time, we don't run any training. Also, it's been quite cyclical in terms of the life cycle of the business as well. So we've had points where we've just focused on training, and the business, we've not kind of put so much focus in developing that, and vice versa. And that was when it was pretty much just me and some of the trainees that I'd then offered employment to. So really, really small team. Now we've got a bigger team, still very small, only 8 of us, but it's about ensuring that the different parts of the business are taken care of. So at the moment, I'm still kind of doing sales and overseeing marketing and production. But we've got a program leader in who's running the training. So I'm overseeing the growth of that rather than actual delivery.
Obviously, I have a background in social enterprise as well. And for me, one of the challenges always was, do I lead with this idea that I'm a social enterprise, or do I lead with the fact that I'm just a business? How have you managed to, I guess, decide which one you're going to lead with, and which one do you lead with at the moment?
So in the beginning, it was very much about, we're the only patisserie in the world that can Pantone match macaroons. We make premium gluten-free French macaroons. It's all about the bespoke nature of what we do and the premium nature of what we do. Because at that point, kind of French macaroons, it was a product that we needed to educate people about as well. So we didn't then want to have that kind of having to educate people what social enterprise is, plus previously, people thought social enterprise always that a charity, and then that question of charity, NAF Charity Cafe, like great idea behind it and great passion, but the product quality isn't there. So for us, we put the social enterprise messaging second, doing everything kind of in the background. And really committed to it, but actually we just didn't talk about it during the sales process. It was more of a, oh, you've tried them, great, this is also what we do, thank you very much for supporting. Whereas now, especially through having the store in Birmingham city centre, people have experienced the product, loads more, most people know what French macaroons are now, so we don't have to do that education piece. We're a trusted brand. So now we really do lead with the social impact side of the business, and tell our trainees stories more. We get more young people into the shop as well. So it is really about pushing that a lot more.
And how have you found that people have received that versus when you weren't pushing that?
I think it's difficult. So some people do really care, and you suddenly get that kind of like glaze that comes over some people. Where, oh, did you know we're a social enterprise? Oh, that's really nice. Kind of thing.
I've seen that look before.
People don't have to care, you know, as long as they're buying rooms that do what we do because we're passionate about it. That's the most important thing. In my
Yeah, no, I agree. So getting a store, that must have been a big deal. What were some of the fears that you had prior to embarking on that?
Setting up the store was, I didn't really have very many fears at that point. I was just really excited about this new business that we're setting up, a new way to get to train more trainees, addressing the need that they had told us they want to go into retail rather than catering. And I was really quite excited about it. It was a big kind of period of growth for us, expanded the team, went from 1 site to 3 sites. And it was just really exciting. Now, having gone through that process, we grew way too fast, grew the team too fast. There's too many new things happening at the same time. So, kind of moving forward and looking at our next store, those are the fears, you know, making sure that everything is, you know, overly planned. You know, you don't know what you can't know, but everything else you can just completely plan down to a T, and making sure there's only one big change happening at a time.
Quite a technical question, but a lot of the people I interview are usually service-based business. You obviously provide a service, but there's also a product. How do you manage stock? Because I've had clients come to me who want to start businesses that they're going to hold stock, and they're saying, well, I don't know how to manage that to make sure I don't have too much, that stuff doesn't go off. How did you learn to manage that process?
Yeah, so through the way that I started, that helped me to create those processes that, you know, people are like, oh, what? How do you even work that? But now it's just so embedded in the way that we work that people really don't ask questions. So everybody pays up front. It doesn't matter what kind of company you are. So we work on the website model. There's only 3 customers who are our wholesale customers that are on 30-day term. Every other customer pays up for whether, you know, your wedding's in 6 months' time, your corporate events in 5 weeks. So we're a cash-rich business, and we pay our suppliers 4 to 6 weeks after we actually get the goods.
That works.
Yes. But, you know, in the beginning, if you just do what everybody else does, then we would have been in a really tough situation. So it's you know, our first big order was with a very helpful big corporate, and we said, look, you know, we're a small business, we're a small social enterprise, and we won't be able to do this order unless we get some payment up front. And they have very, very strict 30-day terms, and they really kind of, they just said, look, put your invoice in 60 days before, and then everything will be fine. So you know, that was a really good lesson for me, just to be kind of open and transparent, and generally people will help you. And then kind of moving forward with the e-commerce site, people just expect that already, so we didn't really have to do very much there. In terms of stock, we don't have very many perishable ingredients. It's just the butter, the cream and the egg whites. Everything else is really long shelf life. So for all the chocolates and for all the sugars, then we buy in bulk and we get cheaper discounts. But in the beginning, you know, I was just at Costco, because it was big enough the pack sizes were big enough for me to kind of do what I needed to do, and small enough to be able to afford it. And now we've got, you know, a year later, we had a catering supplier that we bought through, and, you know, now after 2 years, since the past few years, we've moved to our much bigger production kitchen and office, so we can now buy kind of the pallet load and get prices. So it's changed as it has grown.
You touched on obviously negotiating with the corporate, and I know that you've done business with quite a lot of high-end corporate clients. How, as a social enterprise and a small business, did you get the confidence to be able to go in and sell to those, and also to then negotiate on your own terms?
So I think it's just about projecting an image of yourself that's bigger than it is. So, you know, our first big corporate client was PwC, and then, you know, we just were pretty good on SEO. The website had inbuilt SEO, so we were getting large corporates getting in touch with us. So we had Orange get in touch with us all those many weeks ago when I listed. And, you know, we were just by being able to say, yeah, we did these macaroons, 500 gift bags of 3, Pantone matched for PwC, delivered on time. They were really happy about it. Did some gift tags for them as well. What kind of things are you offering? And what kind of things are you looking for? These are the different range of options we have. And just talking confidently and competently about it, I think just that's the way that they buy from you. They buy from the person. And I think that really helps, having that first kind of experience of being able to say that. And, you know, for me, I wouldn't say a natural salesperson at all, but I think it was just that flip in mindset that these people are trying to create a beautiful event and I'm actually helping them. So asking really insightful questions about what they're trying to create. You know, is it part of a wider marketing campaign? Are they looking for any kind of follow-on? Yeah, well, we can, you know, print a hashtag onto the macaroon or onto the ribbon or onto the gift tag, and, you know, what's your follow-on after that, and what's your kind of end goal? Just asking those kind of questions rather than how many do you want, here's the price. It gives that confidence in you as a business that you understand their needs, you understand how important it is that you need that product there at that time, and you know some of their pain points. So you understand that as a marketing executive, they don't have final say, and it's going to be, you know, 2 meetings later that they get back to you with, yeah, we can process that invoice now. So, you know, harassing them every day isn't going to work, and they then start to lose faith in you. So it's just really understanding your buying personas.
When you got the call from PwC, or when you made that call, or whenever you were given the confirmation that you were going ahead, was there a moment of panic, or have you always been naturally confident in the abilities of your business and you in delivery?
Yeah, so that particular order was to launch their social enterprise space down in More London. So I knew that they were supportive of social enterprise. I had a business mentor from PwC, and, you know, there was that kind of link in there. So I just knew that if there were any issues, I didn't have to deal with them by myself. I had that kind of communication open with them. I knew that they would be supportive. So I think, you know, that was a really positive situation to be in. And, you know, I only got that through winning a competition that I pitched for. So I think it's just being really, you know, having your eyes open for any opportunities that are out there for different corporates to support in whatever way they can, because, you know, PwC hosted a competition and they loved what we did, so they then offered a mentor, which then turned into an order, you know, a year and a half later. So we haven't even set up, we've just got a name and an idea, and, you know, having them hold our hand through that process and just see that growth, you know, they're really invested in us. So I think it's about developing that relationship, and it, you know, it sounds, oh, that's a lucky kind of first break, but it's a huge amount of hard work that you have to put in. And it feels like it's not getting anywhere, and it's just a long conversation. But it's about, you know, having that resilience and persevering.
And also, as you said before, it's also about, once you get that work, then maximizing it and utilizing it to then leverage for other pieces of work. And I think that's something that a lot more people need to understand and appreciate, that getting one big client can help you get another 10 if you work it properly, and if you really take the time to work out how you can capitalize on that client, that customer, that sale. So in terms of, so you said it's been 8 years now, what would you say has been kind of some of the biggest challenges that you've overcome in those 8 years?
So for me, the biggest challenge was kind of getting over my idealism. So I set up Miss Macaroon as a social enterprise, and my idea of the social enterprise was you reinvest 100% of your profits, or you're not a real social enterprise, and you only employ the beneficiaries, or you're not a real social enterprise. And I set it up in that way. And, you know, the first time that I employed 3 young people, have multiple and complex needs, and people learn from their peers, and you put them in a place where they've, you know, either never had a job before, it's been a really long time since they have, and normal life events, car accident, family member gets ill, you know, fall down, whatever it is, normal life events just knock them so hard, and they don't have the resilience to help themselves through that by themselves, and they don't have the skills to kind of support each other through it. So, you know, I realised that it doesn't work that way. When we're working in the way that we are, that we're kind of really pushing people right up to the limits of their comfort zone. Everybody's intensely capable, and we just need to help them to access their confidence and the experience that they already have, the skills that they already have, and build on those. It's really, really challenging. So through that process, the negativity that kind of ensued from that situation, we moved to a 3-to-1 model, 3 professionals to 1 trainee. There's a huge amount more support around each trainee. And also we get external organisations. So we've got experts in, you know, finance and budgeting, in a therapist for mental health and wellbeing, a recruitment agency for all the TV writing. So we get as much support as we can around that trainee. And we have a professional mentor and a wellbeing mentor for the 6-month course. So for me, that was a really important challenge to go through. And if somebody told me, I wouldn't have got to the same space. I actually needed to go through that. What was a really horrendous time, because I felt like I'd let the people down that I intended to help the most. It was a tough one.
No, I can imagine. It's interesting what you said about having the 3-to-1 model. I really think that's a really powerful way of doing it, and I think that you're very correct that actually somebody telling you, you probably would have thought, actually, no, I'm going to try it this way. So experiencing it and seeing it potentially helped you to formulate the answers or the responses in a better way because you experienced it and lived it.
Yeah.
Have you been, one of the questions I try to ask every other person I interview, how supportive have you felt by friends and family? Has everybody kind of said, great, this is wonderful, you're amazing? Or have you had people that have been like, actually, what is the point of doing this? Go and do something commercial alone with less stress and more money?
Yeah, all my friends and family have been really, really supportive. Well, all the friends and family I have around me now anyway. So I think I've had a couple of friends along the way that have been, oh, why don't you want to go out on Saturday, kind of thing. And now that they have a baby of their own, which Miss Macaroon is absolutely my baby, then they understand, okay, I know what you don't want to do. It's, you know, for those kind of relationships where it hasn't been super understanding, then they have actually fallen by the wayside. But all of my family have been really supportive. So my dad runs his own business, my brother does. And you know, they kind of understand that the pressures that are there, but everybody else is just like super proud of everything that we've done, and have also done at least 1 shift at Miss Macaroon. So yeah.
That's the true test of support. Are you willing to give up your time to come and work for me? That is definitely a true test.
Smile on your face.
Yeah, that too. What would you say has been the greatest achievement for you? What is the one thing that you look at? And obviously the business, I'm sure you're very proud of, but what is the one thing that you've done along this journey that you really feel that's something that I'm really super proud of?
Yeah, so the kind of proudest moments for me are when some of our graduates of our programme, just through kind of keeping in touch, they let me know that they're actually mentoring someone else. So, you know, they will have always had that skill and passion and enthusiasm and ability to mentor somebody else, but it's the fact that they now feel confident to do it, and they've got that kind of framework from what we've done previously, and they're just doing it more informally. I think that's the biggest achievement for me.
Yeah. And another huge achievement for you, you received an MBE. Was it this year or last year?
This year in the New Year's Honours.
Fab. And that must have been a really proud moment for you and your friends and family. How did it feel, especially at this stage in the journey, to be celebrated in that way?
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, I still can't believe it. We're going next month to go pick it up. So I think maybe after that it might sink in a little bit. Yeah, it was incredible. It's such a huge honour. Like, it's such a huge honour to. And looking at the list of some of the people that have it and that have been awarded it this year as well, what they've achieved is absolutely incredible. So yeah, it's really, really big, and I'm just really grateful for whoever nominated me.
Well, it's more than deserved, and obviously you've really had an impact on the social enterprise sector and on the trainees that you've worked with over the years. So definitely I can attest to the fact that it's something that you deserved, and I'm sure will help to spread the word of Miss Macaroon and of you yourself for many, many years to come. What is next for you? You said you're opening a new store.
Yes, so we're moving forward with our retail plans, and we're growing our Macaroons That Make a Difference training course to the number of cohorts we run every year, and we've got a pilot program happening this year, which we're launching in June, and that is a food accelerator, so taking everything that I started off with, £500 of personal funds, free kitchen space and some mentoring, and taking 6 people, 12 people, 6 groups of 2, through a food accelerator and giving them the opportunity after 12 weeks to pitch their idea and gain that £500 of money. And then they actually go back into their old primary school and secondary school and deliver some of the workshops around personal branding and networking and personal confidence within those schools. So it's a really exciting project that we're looking forward to. Yeah.
Sounds it. So 3 pieces of advice that you would give to somebody who is considering starting their own social enterprise or commercial business. What would you say to them?
So if it's a social enterprise, then I would say use the sector. Everybody in the social enterprise world is so super helpful. We have a campaign called So Said Q&A every Tuesday where social entrepreneurs and aspiring social entrepreneurs can post a question. We send it out to lots of different social enterprises and social enterprise support organisations, and they answer your burning questions or your challenges. It really helped me when I set up, just go out there and try and speak to people who are already doing it, because you just save yourself so much time and we will all make, you'll just make different ones. Number 2 is ask for help, get mentors, get supporters, and don't be afraid to just keep keeping them in the loop and asking for their time. People will always say no if they don't have time. I think it's really important not just to bring people along the way on your journey, but just to get that expertise and that support, because being an entrepreneur is lonely. And then 3rd is know your market, so do as much market research as possible, and it never stops. So just keep out who your market is, so that you can keep there.
Fab. Well, if people want to find out more about you and about your business, where can they go to get some information?
MissMacaroon.co.uk. I am on Twitter at Rosie Ginday, and Miss Macaroon is I am Miss Macaroon.
Fab. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope that you watching have found that useful, because I certainly have. And if there's anything that Rosie has said in this interview that's really resonated with you, please make sure that you write a comment in the comment box and click that like button. And if there's anyone out there that you think may benefit from hearing this conversation, please share in your networks. And Rosie, wishing you every success, and I look forward to seeing the launch of the new store. And congratulations on everything.
Brilliant. Thanks so much.